Hi Taurus, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad that you found me. This is your February 2017 Astrology and Tarot Scope video. So, February is going to be pretty impactful. We're going to experience 2 eclipses. It's going to be kind of a wild ride. Eclipses last, or the energy of eclipses last about 6 months, and they usually come in about 6 months intervals. Or 6-month intervals, pardon me. So Taurus, why don't you sit a spell so we can talk about your stars? Now, on February 3rd or 4th, depending on where you live on the planet, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, harmony, money, and resources, is moving into Aries, along with Mars and Uranus. This is occurring in your 12th house, Taurus. The 12th house is the house of limitations, repression. It's also a very karmic house. It's the house of self-undoing and secret enemies, but it's also the house of secrets that you keep from yourself or others, and it's secrets that are kept from you as well. I like to think of the 12th house as the deepest, darkest recesses of the mind. Venus moving into the 12th house along with Mars and Uranus, it really speaks to either very passionate dreams or a possible very passionate secret liaison. So yeah, that's really interesting. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw this. The other thing that could possibly be occurring is that you're receiving messages through your dreams from loved ones. It could also be that you are receiving like messages from a secret admirer. Could be that you're getting money from a secret source or a hidden source, someplace that you weren't expecting money to come from. That's about all the different scenarios I could see playing out for the majority of people. On the 7th or 8th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we will have Mercury, the planet of thought, movement, and communication, moving into Aquarius, meeting up with the Sun. This is your 10th house. The 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, and it's the house of your career and your status. It's your reputation. It deals with your destiny and also authority figures. This can be authorities in your world, authorities like the law, or authorities in their field like an expert. William Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, and I like to think of the 10th house as the stage that you approach the world on, and it's how the world knows you. Mercury moving into the 10th house could definitely indicate that you're getting a lot of messages dealing with your career field, dealing with your status, or dealing with your reputation in some way. Your status and your reputation are things that could be changed on Facebook. Anything from your marital status or your relationship status to actually, like, if you get a degree and you go from being John Doe to Dr. John Doe. You get what I'm saying? Could also be that you're getting very destined communication as well, which would be interesting. It could feel very destined. Now, on the 10th or 11th, depending on where you live on the planet, we will be experiencing our first eclipse of 2017. This will be a lunar eclipse at 22 degrees of Leo. This is occurring in your 4th house. The Sabian symbol for 22 degrees of Leo is, in a circus, the bareback rider displays her dangerous skill. Sabian symbols were created by a clairvoyant psychic named Elsie Wheeler, and she did 0 to 30 degrees of each zodiac sign of the astrological wheel, went through and meditated and did a small transcription for every one of those degrees. And like I said, the one for 22 degrees I just read for you, when I meditated on this, I thought about the actual visualization of what is being said. I thought about a bareback rider on a horse. I thought about the poise and the grace, the skill, the time and determination that it must have taken to practice, to study, to learn how to ride and maintain your position on top of a moving, live, wild animal. And what's interesting is the Sabian symbols for the eclipses this month are very resonant with one another. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a moment. Now, lunar eclipses are associated with endings, closures, resolutions, and we may or may not have a part or hand in it. Lunar energy is also associated with females. The fourth house is ruled by Cancer, and it's the house of your home and family, or your roots and foundations. Home is where you live or where you consider home to be. Family is who you share that home with. That can be your parents, that can be your spouse or your partner, that can be your children, your fur babies, your roommates, housemates, or house guests. If none of that applies, then look to your internal roots or foundation, or your external roots and foundation, like on the actual house or dwelling that you live in. I could see some Taurians having, I feel like there's going to be some Taurians that end up with, like moving, like you're going to be actually moving homes. I see some Taurians having, like, either broke bone issues or, like, tooth abscess issues. And I say that because of, like, roots and foundation. The foundation of the body is the bones, and the teeth. So possibly that for some, depending on your aspects playing out in your own personal chart. But the meditation was really interesting, talking about poise and grace and skill and determination. So if it's playing out in your home, dealing with feminine energy, or in your body, just understand that this too shall pass. Things will be feeling very heated around the 10th or 11th because it's a powerful lunar eclipse. And there's synchronicity between the full moon at 22 degrees of Cancer that occurred in January and the lunar eclipse at 22 degrees of Leo in February, because the lunar eclipse is a full moon. Now, on the 18th or 19th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we will have the sun moving into Pisces, joining Neptune. Neptune has been there for a while and will continue to be. And Neptune is one of Pisces' ruling planets. So, this is occurring in your 11th house. The 11th house is ruled by Aquarius. It's the house of the internet. It's the house of your friends and your groups, the memberships, associations, teams that you may belong to. It also deals with your future wishes, goals, dreams, or bucket list type energy. The fact that the sun is moving in here, it could feel as though, or you may be dealing with people not staying in their lane, in their proverbial lane, either in your friendships, in your groups, or actually it could be that the boundaries are blurred in an area as well. There's a lot of 11th house energy playing out for you during the second half of the month, because following the sun moving in on the 25th or 26th of the month, we're going to experience a solar eclipse at 8 degrees of Pisces, and Neptune will be very, very strongly influencing this solar eclipse. Now, solar eclipses are associated with beginnings, initiation points, new chapters, but the thing about new chapters, there has to be the closure of the chapter prior for there to be a new chapter. For there to be growth, there has to be growing pains. So, with the new beginnings, there could be some endings at play as well. Those endings are being initiated in the lunar eclipse that came prior to the solar eclipse. The Sabian symbol for 8 degrees of Pisces reads, "A jockey spurs his horse, intent on outdistancing his rivals." And I said that the Sabian symbols were resonant, and what I mean in that is that both are indicating the need for grace, poise, stamina, endurance, dedication to staying on top of a moving target, a moving object, a moving thing, that may have its own will, that may have its own mind, but finding a way to balance on top of it and maintain your position without falling off and actually eventually outdistancing those around you, hopefully. I like the way that it plays out dealing with the horse as well, because Saturn is in Sagittarius, and the symbology of Sagittarius is the centaur, half man, half horse. The solar eclipse, once again, is occurring in your 11th house, and it could be that you're dealing with a new group, a new team, a new association. It could be that you are dealing with a new group of friends, or it could be that your goals, your dreams, your bucket list is shifting or changing in some way. Now, under the same influence of the solar eclipse, we're having Mercury move into Pisces, which is your 11th house. A lot of communication will be occurring in that 11th house. Mercury is the planet of thought, movement, and communication. Could be getting a lot of internet-based communication, but it may be difficult to understand, and once again, people may be stepping out of their lanes because Neptune is so strong in this influence. Also, watch out for your escapist tendencies while out with groups, friends, memberships, or teams that you may belong to. You may overdo it. You may overdo it, and then you may say more than you want to and have to deal with foot and mouth syndrome. I know that I have had to deal with that more than once. Foot and mouth syndrome, not necessarily due to drinking, but yeah. So what I'm going to do now is transition over to the tarot cards. I'm going to pull, or I intend on pulling 4 cards for you. The Aries reading had an extra card fall, so I read it as it lays. I want to take this time while I'm shuffling to say that if this message or this reading is not resonant for you, then I invite you to check out your moon and rising sign placement videos. There may be more resonant messages for you there. You are more than just a Taurus, dear love. You have a piece of each of the zodiac in you. We all have 12 houses in our charts. We all have each sign represented in our energy, some more strongly than others. You got a lagniappe card. For my new viewers, I'm from Louisiana. Lagniappe means a little something extra. And when a card drops, I also take that as a sign to cut the deck. So what I'm going to do now is pull the bottom card to represent the underlying theme or the overarching energy for this reading. And I'm going to pull the top 3 for clarity. And next, I'm going to pull a card from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck. I love this deck. I really love the messages that seem to amplify the reading as well. And I've had a lot of people private message me and ask me about this deck and where I found it. What I did was I went to the Sage Goddess online store. You can Google the words Sage Goddess and her store. She's got a very strong social media presence. Her links will come up and you can search her stuff there. I am in no way affiliated with her. I just love the deck, and I have purchased from her before and enjoyed my purchase process. And just really passing on the information to y'all if you are enjoying the deck as much as me. This wanted to fall, so we're going to take that. I'm also going to pull a Sacred Rebels Oracle card for you. This Oracle deck is by Elena Fairchild, and the artwork is by Autumn Sky Morrison. It is a real fan favorite. It's one of my personal favorites. I have a heart... I don't know. I love all of my decks. I get them for different reasons, for different seasons, for different milestones, etc. So each is special to me, but this Sacred Rebels Oracle deck really spoke to me. It was one of the first Oracle decks that I purchased for myself in an online capacity, and it literally spoke to me through the screen saying, you need to have me in your home. So, I bought it, and I loved it, and a lot of you have loved it too, which makes me so happy. This card just threw itself out, so I'm going to take that. As your card from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. Now, Taurus, what I'm going to do is hit the pause button, flip these cards over, do the tarot math, and I'll be right back with your story. Hang tight, y'all. Hey, Taurus. I'm ready. I hope you are too. I don't know why I said I'm ready. Sorry. Just got off the phone during my little intermission. Okay. I'm going to read the cards as they fell. The first card that fell for you is the Seven of Pentacles. The 7 represents the 7th house on the astrological wheel. That is the house that's ruled by Libra. It's the house of your partnerships and your relationships and how you identify who you are as a human being through those partnerships and relationships and the interactions that you have with those people. It also covers counseling and open enemies. Open enemies are someone you would testify against in an open court of law. It's also someone you have an open beef with, and someone, in my opinion, that you would argue with, say, online or in an online forum where other people could witness and see what is occurring and be able to digest it as it's happening. Now, the Pentacles represent Earth sign energy. The Earth signs are you, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The Pentacles also represent money and resources. Resources can be money, but it can also be your health, your time, your energy, your love, devotion, anything that you would expend on another living thing or situation. This card in itself is a card of waiting for harvest. It's waiting for your hard work to pay off. You only have one pentacle down here, and you're waiting for the rest to come off of the vine. It can feel like a card of possible impatience as well. I like to think of this as a card of, or what I think of when I see this card is don't count your chickens before your eggs hatch. Because this is all still on the vine, but it doesn't mean that it'll be appropriate for harvest. It could also be assessing the value in your relationships or partnerships, or assessing the value in counseling, just with the numerology playing out in the symbology here. Now, the underlying theme or overarching energy for this card spread is the Seven of Wands. So you have two sevens. You don't have any astrological 7th house energy playing out, but I mean, the 7th house and the 11th house are, I feel like they mirror each other, because your partnerships and relationships, those are your friends and the groups and the associations that you have. So, anyways, the seventh house, once again, ruled by Libra. This is your partnerships and relationships and how you identify who you are as an individual through those interactions with those people. It's also open enemies and people that you have an open beef with, or counseling. This is the Seven of Wands. The Wands represent fire sign energy, and the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. You are having that full moon lunar eclipse in Leo. That's in your 4th house. That's home and family. This is a card of defending your ground, defending your territory, standing your ground. You could also feel like you're being poked and prodded or being pulled in many different directions, or dealing with too many messages. It's combative, and it's more people coming at you and you defending yourself, as opposed to you going out and attacking all of these other people. You have a lot of 11th house energy. It could feel like people are trying to argue with you or fight with you in some way, or bring if it's, it could just be messages as well, but I mean, I see this guy as defending himself and his territory and his position, but I see the, the very next card is the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is rapid, fast-paced communication for me. So this could be internet-based communication or telecommunication-based, very like text wars, or text tag. You get what I'm saying? Instant messenger, that type stuff. Now, the first card in the top three for clarity is a major arcana card. It is the Wheel of Fortune. Pardon me. The Wheel of Fortune is the 10th card in the major arcana. The 10 speaks to the Capricorn ruled house of your career, your status, and your reputation. It also deals with your destiny, and it covers authorities. This can be authorities in your world, authority figures to you, or dealing with authorities in their field, like an expert. Now, your status and your reputation are things that could be changed on Facebook. Anything from your relationship status to your title, like Mr. from Mr. to Doctor. It's the only example I can think of, but you get the gist, I hope. Now, the Wheel of Fortune represents the planet Jupiter, and Jupiter is in your 6th house. The 6th house is ruled by Virgo, and that's the house of your work and health, or the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. It is your day-to-day agenda and your daily life. It's what you do on the daily. Wherever Jupiter goes, it expands. So if you are concerned with your health, then you have probably been experiencing more concern with your health. But if you are experiencing, or if you're employed, then you are experiencing a expansion in that area of employment, or possibly the fact that you are going to school or taking classes to get more skills, more feathers in your cap, if you will. I like the symbology and the synchronicity between the 10th house of career and status and reputation, and Jupiter being in your 6th house of work and health. It's really nice. The next card that you received in the top three for clarity is the World card. And this is the 21st card of the major arcana. 2 + 1 is 3, and that is the Gemini ruled house of short distance trips, siblings, cousins, neighbors, and your neighborhood, the people who are kind of on your level. Communication is a broad spectrum. It is how you speak, how people interpret you, how you interpret others. It also covers your communication devices. That's your phone, tablet, anything technological these days. It also governs your vehicle and the path that you take your commute. The World card, whenever I see this, I instantly think of the internet. You have a lot of internet, or a lot of 11th house stuff going on from the 18th of the month through to the end of February. And the 11th house is the house of Aquarius, and I told you that that's also the house of the internet. So I think of the World Wide Web. That's what they used to call it back when it first came into existence, when people started getting their free trials for AOL. Yes, shout out to the 90s generation. Anyways, the World card represents the planet of Saturn, and Saturn is in the 8th house. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, and that's the house of life, death, and rebirth. It's also the house of transformation, metamorphosis, and regeneration. It is the house of instincts. It can be primal, basic, or human. It's the house of sexuality. It's the house of other people's money. Other people's money is money or funds that is coming to you by another hand, not through your hourly wage earning it. It's your spouse's income. It's loans, scholarships, grants, tax tax returns, inheritances, lottery winnings, that sort of thing. The final card that you received is the Nine of Wands. The 9 represents the Sagittarius ruled house of higher education, adventures in questing, long distance trips. It governs the study of foreign languages, religion, philosophy, astrology, legal system matters, political matters. It also covers foreign people, foreign places, and foreign things. Once again, the wands represent fire sign energy, and the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I do think that this is highlighting a lot of Leo energy for you, speaking to the lunar eclipse. This is really a card of recovery. You got the 7 and the 9. Like I said, the 8 of Wands is the card that has the wands that are going just in diagonal. It's a blue background and it's 8 wands shooting diagonal. Some people see it as like Cupid's arrows of love. Some people see it as message. I see it as fast-paced messaging. But this is the recovery card from the defending your territory and standing your ground, and all of the messages or arrows of love or arrows of whatever have come at you. This is kind of the gathering your breath, seeing where it's reassessing your situation. It's reassessing your surroundings. It's looking at what's going on around you. I also see this as a card of recovery, like recuperating after the battle, after everything is said and done. I feel like you may be dealing with secret enemies or people that you thought were friends. You may be dealing with frenemies. And I say that because of the astrological placements that are occurring at the beginning of the month, with Venus moving into the 12th house where Mars and Uranus already are. The 12th house is that house of secrets and secret enemies and the darker inner recesses of the mind. It's also a karmic house, but I feel like you're going to be experiencing a lot of communication coming out towards the end of the month, and this may be how you are feeling as a result. Because that is the final card. I did the tarot math reading for you. I added up all of the card numbers, or the numbers at the top of the cards, and that totaled up to be 54. 5 plus 4 is 9, and that speaks to the Sagittarius rule. This is a 9 right here. Speaks to the Sagittarius ruled house of higher education, long distance trips, adventures in questing, foreign people, foreign places, foreign things, all of that jazz. You could be reassessing your major. You could be reassessing higher education aims, or reassessing your travel plans as well. Because the world is right next to it. So some Taurians may be traveling or be looking online, starting the whole travel process. You do have a little bit of astrological energy playing out in the 9th houses. Mercury starts the month out in the 9th house and ends up in the 10th house very shortly after the beginning of the month. This happens before the lunar eclipse. But Pluto is transiting your 9th house, and Pluto is deep, long-term transformation. I like to think of Pluto as the coastal erosion. It's transformation that happens on a daily basis, but you don't see the impacts until you get an overview perspective or a time-lapse perspective or just a meta perspective where you look back and see the degradation. But that degradation happens so something new can be placed in its place. Alright, now let's move on to the Sage Goddess Oracle card. I pulled for you, or the card that actually kind of slung itself out while I was shuffling, is the Peacock Oar card. And I love the way this card looks. The lighting in here really isn't that good, but these stones have a really pretty blue and purple tone to them. I really think it's gorgeous. This card deals with psychic intuition and astral travel. It can help heal and amplify the vibrations of the third eye chakra. It reads, Peacock Ore is the witch's stone. It helps to hold a sacred space for ritual and attunes you to nature's cycles, moon phases, and the wheel of the year. You've pulled this card because Source is calling you to awaken your intuition and psychic ability. Meditate with Peacock Ore to facilitate visioning work, outer realm magic, and astral travel. The Sacred Rebels Oracle card that you received is the face card of the deck. This is the 7th card of the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. The Legacy of Light. And I can't help but notice this moon right here. And this is the third number 7 that has shown up in your reading. Okay. There, now y'all can see it. This Legacy of Light card is asking you to honor your ancestry, your legacy. It is an invitation to receive loving support from those who have come before you, your ancestors, your loved ones, your spirit guides. It's also a request of you to be like the sun in your world. Be unapologetic of your nature and love radically. This card is a card of confirmation that you are facing a choice, and it's going to be made, or has been made, will soon be made, or soon be forced upon you to make, concerning your purpose, or your spiritual path, or your healing and growth. It's an invitation for you to trust more, and to trust that all is well and going according to divine timing and design. This card is also a confirmation that your ancestry is calling to you, and family history and family ties are going to be very important to you. You are having that lunar eclipse in the 4th house. And this is dealing with the child, the maiden, and the crone. Female energy. Well, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. I'll be around for the second half of February's videos, but I've got to finish this series first. That means I've got to stop rambling. But I thank you for watching. Please take care of yourselves. Please be kind to yourselves. and save some of that kindness for others, because we're all struggling through private battles in our world that some of us may never speak about to another living soul. I hope you're well. Breathe, baby, breathe. Embrace the changes that are coming your way because of eclipse season. Embrace that growth mindset. Embrace the poise and the grace and the tenacity that it takes to stay upon that horse. Until next time, I hope you're well. Take care. Namaste. And bye, Taurus.